My name is Olivia Bennett. I was born in London into a wealthy family. My parents had money for generations. From my childhood, life was full of luxury. I never needed to worry about money. I attended a private school, traveled across Europe every summer, and wore expensive clothes. My father owned a big architecture company, and my mother was a famous opera singer before she retired. I was their only child and grew up in a world where money was never a problem. Despite all this, I wanted something more than wealth. I wanted real love. I wanted someone who would care about me as a person, not just for my money or status. But the people around me often saw only my money. Many were jealous or treated me differently because of where I came from. True friendship and love felt very rare. When I went to college, I studied business because I wanted to learn how to manage money and create my own success. Soon, I started an online fashion brand. It became very popular, and my business grew fast. I had a busy life filled with work, traveling, and running my company. But still, I felt alone sometimes. Then I met a man named Daniel Carter. He was different from the men I knew. He was not rich or famous. He was a photographer trying to build his career. He seemed calm and simple. At a charity event, he approached me without noticing who I was. He spoke to me like I was a normal person, not a wealthy CEO. He showed interest in small things and talked about art and dreams instead of money. That night, I felt happy for the first time in a long while. We started seeing each other. Our relationship was slow and quiet. He took me on walks in the park, showed me new parts of the city, and took pictures of me when I was relaxed and smiling. I felt that he loved who I was inside, not what I had. He told me that money did not matter to him, that he liked my heart and my dreams. I believed him. After some time, we moved in together. I insisted on paying my share, but he always found reasons why I should cover most of the expenses. At first, I did not mind. I thought it was romantic that he wanted to treat me. He cooked and cleaned, and I felt cared for. I wanted to believe in us. But slowly, things changed. He started asking for money more often. He needed help with his camera equipment, his broken car, and even personal expenses like helping his family. Each time, I gave him money without question. I trusted him. However, he never returned the money. I ignored this because I was in love. I told myself money did not matter when it came to love. I had enough to share. But then, his requests grew bigger. He wanted expensive clothes, luxury trips, and fancy dinners. He said he deserved to be spoiled. I overlooked all these signs, afraid that I might lose him if I said no. He began to act differently. On social media, he posted pictures showing off the expensive things I bought for him. He smiled like a celebrity and made others think he was wealthy too. He changed his style and started spending time away from me. He stopped caring about our conversations and stopped showing interest in my daily life. Yet, he had plenty of time for friends, parties, and nights out. One day, I came home early and saw his phone left unattended. A message appeared from another woman, thanking him for a special night and suggesting they meet again soon. My heart broke in a way I never expected. When I faced him with this truth, he did not deny what happened. Instead, he made it clear that he never loved me for who I was. To him, I was just a source of money. He admitted that I gave him what he wanted, money and comfort, and in return, he gave me the attention I desired but never true love. He left, taking everything I had bought for him and without looking back. For weeks, I was lost in sadness and confusion. I realized that I had been living in an illusion. I had fallen in love with a man who only loved my money, not me. I ignored many warning signs because I wanted love to fix everything. But love without respect is meaningless. After some time, I sought help to heal. I stopped following him on social media and shared my pain with close friends. I learned that money is not a weakness, but a part of my strength. I understood that I must protect myself and never allow someone to use me for financial gain. Though my heart was broken, I promised myself to stay strong and not let this experience define me. My journey to true love and trust was only beginning. After the painful end of that relationship, my life entered a new phase, one filled with hard lessons, growth, and a slow rebuilding of trust and self-worth. The experience left scars deeper than I had imagined, but also gave me clarity I never had before. In the weeks after Daniel left, my days were a mix of numbness and restless energy. I was surrounded by people, yet felt completely alone. Every time my phone rang or a message arrived, I hesitated to answer, fearing more reminders of what I had lost. I avoided social gatherings, afraid that people would see the pain in my eyes. Even my work, which I had always been passionate about, felt like a burden. Yet, I knew I had to keep moving forward. One of the first things I realized was how much I had allowed my identity to be wrapped around someone else's opinions and desires. I had forgotten to love myself beyond the wealth and status I carried. My self-esteem had become fragile, dependent on someone else's approval. That had to change. I started seeing a therapist, a woman with kind eyes who never judged me but helped me see things I had ignored. She encouraged me to reflect on my feelings honestly. I learned how to recognize toxic patterns, how to set boundaries, and most importantly, how to listen to my own voice. Slowly, I began to enjoy my own company again. I traveled alone, something I had never done before. Without the pressure to impress anyone or hide my insecurities, I found joy in simple moments, watching sunsets on quiet beaches, wandering through unfamiliar streets, and sitting in cafes with nothing but a book and a cup of tea. During these trips, I kept a journal. Writing became my therapy. I poured my pain, anger, hope, and dreams onto the pages. I wrote about the man who had used me, about my fears of being alone forever, and about my determination to never lose myself again. At work, I threw myself into building my brand even harder. I hired new creative teams, designed new collections, and expanded my online presence. Business meetings replaced the silence of loneliness. The success of my company became a reminder that I was capable and strong. Money no longer felt like a trap but a tool to create freedom. But emotional healing was not easy. There were nights when tears came unbidden, when memories invaded my mind, and I doubted my own worth. I often questioned if I would ever find real love. Was it possible for someone to love me for who I was, not for my money? Around this time, I started volunteering at a local community center. Teaching young women how to start small businesses, sharing my knowledge, and hearing their stories made me feel connected again. Their struggles and hopes reminded me that everyone has battles, no matter how their life looks on the surface. Through these experiences, I began to rebuild my faith, not just in others, but in myself and in life. I realized that my worth was never tied to a man's approval or the size of my bank account. It was inside me, waiting to be claimed. Months passed. I met new people, but this time I was cautious. I no longer rushed into relationships or believed in fairy tales. I looked for kindness, respect, and honesty. I listened more, observed carefully, and trusted slowly. One day, during a business trip to Paris, I met a group of entrepreneurs from different countries. Among them was a man named Lucas, a software developer from Germany. Unlike Daniel, Lucas did not pay attention to my wealth or fame. He was interested in my ideas and my passion for growth. We discussed technology, business challenges, and life goals. Our friendship grew naturally, without pressure or expectations. He respected my boundaries and encouraged me to be myself. I found comfort in his steady presence. I realized that love did not have to be dramatic or overwhelming, it could be simple and genuine. At the same time, I continued to protect myself. I learned how to say no when something felt wrong. I stopped ignoring warning signs. I became more assertive and confident in my choices. Looking back, I saw how the relationship with Daniel had been a painful but necessary lesson. It taught me about the dangers of mixing love with money, about the importance of self-respect, and about trusting my instincts. My story was not just about heartbreak. It was about growth, resilience, and the courage to love again, starting with loving myself first. The future remained uncertain. There were still challenges ahead. But for the first time in a long time, I felt ready. Ready to open my heart carefully, to dream boldly, and to live fully, on my own terms.